Very interesting developments with regards social media and Brazil. Brazil has banned Elon Musk's sissy SpaceX. Elon Musk's Twitter. Alright, you're not allowed to access it in Brazil, and if you use a VPN, which is a virtual kind of a network, in case you're not sure what a VPN is, you'll be fined almost $9,000. There are various people screeching and moaning about this freedom of speech, etc. But let's just check one thing that Twitter does. Twitter spreads a lot of misinformation, stacks and stacks of misinformation, and interesting enough, those who seem to revel in that particular area of social media are the ones that appear to be the most upset. There appears to be an awful lot of victimhood going on here, and what I don't really understand is how this is being linked directly as the fault of Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, by the way, was one person who stood up and said what needed to be said. I think at the time with regards how the former losing president of the United States of America was inciting hate. And there has been a lot of, how should we say, loudmouths in the room who've had their blue ticks or whatever it is they get for giving Elon Musk some money, and have shouted a lot of real well, you wouldn't throw horse muck in somebody's face, would you? But there are various people across the world on Twitter who are just there to trigger nastiness, making money out of it at the same time. I don't think you should censor them, but I do find it interesting that their voices sometimes seem to trample over normal, sane, just good people.
You look at what he's been tweeting today, directed at the whistleblower, directed at so many people. I frankly think that based on this and all we've seen him do before, including attacking members of Congress, that he frankly his Twitter account should be suspended. He is irresponsible with his words in a way that could result in harm to other people. And so the privilege of using those words in that way should probably be taken from him. Should probably be taken from him. Should probably be taken from him. He has lost his privileges and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
I know you wrote to Twitter and the CEO, Jack Dorsey, and asked him to take away the president's Twitter handle, his account. How is that not a violation of free speech? I mean, the president has the same rights that you have, that I have, and how would that not just be a slippery slope? Or
I've heard that argument, but here's the thing, Jake. First of all, a corporation, which is what Twitter is, it does not have it has obligations, and in this case, Twitter has terms of use policy. And their terms of use dictate who receives the privilege of speaking on that platform and who does not. And Donald Trump has clearly violated the terms of use, and there should be a consequence for that. And there should be a consequence for that. Not to mention the fact that he has used his platform, being the President of the United States, in a way that has been about inciting fear and potentially inciting harm against a witness to what might be a crime against our country and our democracy. And for that reason, I do believe that it's clear that he has violated the terms of use, and I'm asking that Twitter does what it has done in previous occasions, which is to revoke someone's privilege.
And it is interesting what Brazil has done. Recently in the UK, there were some disturbances, which once again were inflamed by various loudmouths and political, well, they're always after some particular narrative, and Elon Musk again decided to weigh in. There's a level of responsibility that surely must come if you own something which impacts so many people across the world. Maybe there's no social... I actually think with Elon Musk, he's one of these people, etc. Do you know what I mean? Very insecure and doesn't get it. Obviously, he feels that if the former president becomes the next president, he will have a job. I think he's somebody who will buy attention. That's the best way of describing it. It'll be interesting, though, whether other countries follow suit with Brazil. Bearing in mind, we did see some of this kind of potentially on the horizon with TikTok. There was a time when TikTok, for reasons, again, which is a lot of politics were involved, was going to be stopped and was going to be banned.
Judge has ordered social media giant X, formerly known as Twitter, to be taken down in Brazil over a dispute with Elon Musk. The Supreme Court judge and the site's billionaire founder, Musk, have been feuding in public for months after X did not comply with legal orders to block certain accounts accused of spreading fake news and hate.
I have two thoughts about how Twitter works, and let's use the disturbances. I can't say the word. The disturbances in the UK as an example. So they were inflamed at the beginning by a lot of people pushing false narratives. There was a horrendous incident in Southgate, which as a parent I can't even begin to understand how. 3 kids lost their life. They were stabbed, and it sparked a lot of outrage. Now, the outrage you can understand, but unfortunately what happened with some of that outrage, it was directed towards something that had nothing to do with the incident. And it was inflamed by those who were pushing their own specific ideology, let's use that word, and narrative, and a lot of civil disturbances happened. Now, people always have a right to exercise their democratic right. It doesn't need violence, and overturning a shop sometimes perhaps isn't the best way of getting your message over. But there were people who were inflaming the situation, and Elon Musk was pushing the situation. So there was that side of the coin. But interestingly enough, on the other side of the coin, which Twitter did as well, some of the protagonists were exposed. Some of those people who were, I don't know, turning over shops, looting, just being really vile, were exposed and named. So there is always two sides to every coin. Personally speaking, I don't think banning anything is the answer. If anything, expose them. Let them. The best example right now, I'm not going to actually go into it, there's a clown within the Trump circles called Lara Luma, all right? Social media type of person, who is trying to put this story over that Tim Walz, Governor Tim Walz, his brother, isn't really going to support him and is going to support Trump. Wow, that would be the first time ever you've had a family where somebody is a Republican and someone's a Democrat. I would say that happens to quite a lot of families across the world. They have split views on politics, but it doesn't mean... Does it really mean that suddenly that person is bad, that person is good, blah, blah, blah? But obviously with Twitter, what Twitter in particular needs to do, and especially with the Trumpy Trumps, they always want to find a negative angle on it. They always want to find something where, oh, I'm the victim. I'm being oppressed. And you're getting something that I deserve.
I'm shocked. I don't know what to say. That is me, my face, my body.
And when you see these views, you know, it's saying vote for Trump in 2024, what's your reaction?
To be honest, what the was my reaction?
Debbie's identity is being used in a fake X profile claiming to be an American woman who supports Trump and wants people to vote for him in the upcoming US election.
In a fight for our country.
But Debbie, in real life, is a single mum, living and working in Europe, thousands of miles away from the United States. And Debbie is not alone. In collaboration with the Center for Information Resilience, CNN found nearly 60 pro-Trump fake accounts. And from these, we identified over a dozen real women from across Europe whose identities have been stolen. You can go to CNN.com for the full findings.
I want what you've got. That level of all of those nasty emotions which come into play, that's really one thing which Twitter does. And it can work, I suppose, on both sides of the argument. Coming back to what's gone on in Brazil, I don't think it'll be permanent. I think it could well go up until the election. And I also have a theory. I don't believe that Elon Musk really wants to own Twitter that much longer. But it will all be dependent on what happens on the election. If Trump loses, I think Elon Musk will find a way out of Twitter pretty damn quick. Now, if you are in Brazil, or you have any connections with Brazil, family, friends, or you work there, love to know your thoughts in the comment section now. There's no Twitter. Are you okay? How is the day? Do you still have light in the morning, running water and all of those things? Brazil? Well, it's just some video of Brazil behind, but I think you'll be alright, okay? I think they'll be okay. Thoughts? Comment section now. Thank you.
What do former President Trump and basketball star LeBron James have in common? Well, just hours after Twitter launched its new paid verification system, fake accounts using their names and likeness popped up. And we just learned the company's cybersecurity chief called it quits. Let's get to CNN's Dortie O'Sullivan now. So, Dortie, that didn't take long. How easy is it to create a fake Twitter account and make it look real under this new system?
Yeah, things are getting really messy and really confusing on Twitter right now, Anna. In the past 24 hours or so, we have seen so many fake accounts pop up pretending to be people, pretending to be very famous people, and getting that blue verified check mark. For years, that mark has meant that is the real person. We know this person says who they say they are. So what's been going on? I want to show you a few of the fake accounts that have popped up. A fake account for Nintendo, the video game company, showed Mario there, their iconic figure, giving the finger. We have we have blurred it because it's offensive, I guess. Also, we saw somebody set up a fake Donald Trump account. This person, Brian Whelan, saying he was able to verify a fake Donald Trump account in less than 2 beers, but really just getting at the point there that he was able to do this quite quickly. And finally, just over the past day or so, Twitter has given a blue check verified mark to Jesus Christ with the handle there @Jesus. So, as you can see, things are getting a bit confusing at Twitter under Elon Musk, Anna.
Yeah, we're kind of joking about this, but there could be serious consequences to these fake accounts.
Well, absolutely. So you see how easy it was to make those accounts. Think about, in terms of emergencies and natural disasters, even politics, calling elections. We rely so much on Twitter accounts, whether it's in disasters, to get information from emergency services, or on election night, or even during an election campaign. I mean, think how easy it is going to be for somebody to spin up an account to make it look like it's belonging to a campaign or something official or is affiliated. We even saw with that Trump account. So look, there's serious consequences could come of all of this. We have seen pretty much everything Musk has brought in at the company. They've talked about changing again, so this might all change by the end of the day, by the end of the week. But it is kind of causing a bit of unnecessary chaos on the platform, Anna.
And it just makes you wonder, how does this platform survive all this? Dortie O'Sullivan, thanks for being on top of it for us.